Let's do a mock draft. What would the Vikings do if the NFL draft is held today? Well, I broke down the picks, and there's only four of them. So let's talk about them. Minnesota Vikings are going to have projected at four picks in the 2025 NFL draft. And those four picks need to be used wisely because they need players to not only fortify depth at positions, but it would be nice if they could get a contributor or two in that, especially with a really deep running back class where you could find starters on day three potentially. So let's just jump into it. Number one position that they need help in is secondary. They have four of their six starting secondary players already set to hit free agency, and Harrison Smith could end up retiring. So they might have to replace five. So why not get the most versatile player in the entire draft when it comes to the secondary? And that's Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia. Some teams would like to use him at outside corner. He's that athletic. And if you watch the game against Clemson, he had a really nice interception where he was playing bail technique in a cover three on the outside, ran, and ended up getting the interception. Just really nice stuff from Malachi Starks. And you know what? You could have him in the box. You could have him deep. You can have him play nickel. That kind of versatility is something Brian Flores covets. And having that could end up being a humongous asset, especially with how he likes to play this defense when using three safeties. And that kind of leads us to our second guy, who's a guy who can play nickel corner or outside corner. My favorite prospect in this class, his name is Quincy Riley, the cornerback out of Louisville. He's 5'10 and a half, 193 pounds, and he is physical with great ball skills. If the ball's in the air, he is going to come at you and attack. He's got 13 interceptions and 34 passes defended in his career, over 1,600 pass coverage snaps. He is a little bit older at 24 years old, but this really isn't that big of a deal when you're picking at 97th overall. Now, I have a very high second round grade on Quincy Riley. I think he's going to be great. I love his potential in the National Football League, especially in a Brian Flores defense. So getting him at this spot is a great value. Now, you're going from 24 to 97 all the way to 139th, the first pick in the fifth round. And that is Trevor Etienne, the running back out of Georgia. He transferred after spending 2 years with Billy Napier and the Florida Gators, and he had an okay final season at Georgia. One of the big things with Etienne, he was never the guy. He was always a guy in a platoon. He split time with Montreal Johnson his first 2 years, and then this past year he was the starter, but he kept getting hurt, and they kept giving a lot of carries to other guys in that backfield, including true freshman Nate Frazier. Well, what does Etienne do? Well, he plays just like his brother Travis, who went 25th overall in the 2021 NFL draft. This dude is legit. Etienne can do a little bit of everything for you. And what was really impressive is you really didn't get to see a lot of him as a pass receiver or a pass blocker in college. They just didn't ask him to do those things. Well, he thrived at the Senior Bowl, and it gives you an opportunity to see things that you might not get to see on his college tape. And it gives you a blueprint of, hey, now I can kind of project this guy a little bit. And he looked great. He was torching guys using great route running technique, dipping his hips, exploding in and out of breaks. And Etienne has the juice to be able to be a successful runner in both a gap man power and a zone running scheme. Now, the last one's going to be a little interesting, and it's at pick 161. And it's Willie Lampkin, the offensive lineman out of North Carolina. He's an interior guy, and he played really well in Mobile. Why is it a little bit controversial? He's 5'10". So you're drafting a historic outlier. But one of the things about drafting an historic outlier is the guy just knows how to play ball and knows how to win. And because he's the low man wins. He gets leverage. He's able to get underneath guys and stand them up. He did so against Deion Walker. 6'7", 350-pound nose tackle out of Kentucky. Plus, he's a former state championship wrestler. These factors all matter when you're talking about the evaluation. And at a certain point, measurables kind of go out the door. You get guys chances because the play is that good. And I think at the end of the fifth round, where this 161 is, that's when you start to really think about a guy like Lampkin. Could there be a better fit? Sure. But for right now, I like the idea of bringing him in, and maybe you could put him at center because he's only 270 pounds, but he's not weak. He knows how to stand guys up. He knows how to handle size. And you could get him a little bit bigger. You could get him a little bit stronger. And that'll just help bolster his profile even more. It's worth a shot. Because you know what? If a fifth round pick doesn't work out, that's okay. You're taking a good football player who you think can be a good football player in the NFL. I'll take that all day. I'm Tyler Forness with A to Z Sports. Skull Vikings.